So that's right, the Cyberpunk universe is about to expand, but in a way that you might not be expecting. Also, some brand new details on how Keanu Reeves' role shaped the game, and we gotta talk about this one. I want to talk about a little game called Deus Ex. This franchise was absolutely huge. It's been MIA for quite some time, and yes, this is the time for Deus Ex to make a major comeback because of Cyberpunk's failings. So we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. Plus, some players are noticing some strange things going on with the weather in the game after patch 1.23. So what's the deal with that one going on around the weather? And we're also going to be revisiting the PlayStation 4 version of Cyberpunk 2077, talking about the base console versions here. So let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And yes, we are talking about more Cyberpunk and even Deus Ex because I am wondering what is going on with that franchise. But yeah, first of all, we're going to be talking about how Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be expanding its universe beyond gaming. Check out the headline right here. Studio Trigger may give update on Cyberpunk 2077 anime soon. And of course, this is going to be premiering on Netflix, which is actually really excited. I cannot wait to see this because Studio Trigger, they're known to create amazing action-oriented animes. And this is going to be a standalone 10-episode show dedicated to Cyberpunk 2077. Let's see what they had to say right here. It said, listed in the press release for the upcoming Anime Expo event, Studio Trigger will be having a panel that not only will look at several of the projects of the anime's producers past, but also perhaps their upcoming Netflix series titled Cyberpunk Edgerunners. So that's the title, and we do have some artwork here as well. So that's really cool to see. So this is going to be at an Anime Expo, so stay tuned for more news about this one. I will keep you guys in the know as to what's going on around this anime event as well. But yeah, hopefully we hear more about this Cyberpunk themed anime very, very soon, perhaps in the coming days or weeks. So stay tuned for that one. But it's kind of exciting to see that they're going through with their plans with the Netflix series and they're really sticking to that. Of course, don't get me wrong, I want to see this game updated properly. The most recent patch, in my opinion, was completely unacceptable and underwhelming, but you know, let's hope that we get some major updates in the future. We'll see what happens. Now, we do have some interesting details about Keanu Reeves' role and impact on the actual game itself. This is a thread here from Majestic Jazz. It says, I still hold to the belief that the addition of Keanu Reeves drastically changed the story narrative design. It goes on to say, I still believe that prior to Keanu Reeves, there was one version of V's journey, but once Keanu Reeves came on board, the story shifted to become more Silverhand centric, which V just being the medium for which it is told. A lot of people feel this way. Some people have no issues with this, by the way, and then other people feel like, man, I want V to be the center of the storyline. But anyway, it goes on to say the story felt short and rushed, and there were a lot of loose ends that were not addressed, and many instances of feeling like more of something was supposed to occur but was cut out. Exhibit A is the Jackie montage that I really believe was at one time actual mission gameplay, but was cut because it had literally zero relevance to Johnny Silverhand. I totally agree with that one. I think that was planned to be actually in the game as a playable part. But anyway, it says, I still believe that Keanu never come on board, we would have had a more well-rounded story and narrative approach around V. Now, keep in mind, I still think the bugs and poor optimization will still be there. I am more talking about story narrative. And he links to this article here. And if we click into the article, it's actually quite fascinating because it goes on to say the following. It says, Keanu Reeves got Cyberpunk 2077 devs to double his line. So apparently Keanu Reeves really wanted to have more of an impact with this story and requested the dev team to actually double his presence in the game, which of course they did approve this, it seems, and they had to include Keanu basically everywhere in the game where he wasn't, which means a lot of stuff had to be restructured for the game. Let me know if this bothered you guys or not, but it appears that this did happen in like 2018 or 2019, according to some theories as well. But anyway, for me, I really do like Keanu's role in the game. I'm a massive fan of Keanu Reeves. Can't wait for The Matrix 4, just saying. And of course, John Wick, the next John Wick. But yeah, you know, mentioning all this stuff, it makes me think that now Square Enix and Eidos Montreal are in the perfect position, to make a huge comeback with Deus Ex. In fact, I found a recent article saying the same thing here from Game Rant. It says, it's time for Deus Ex to make a comeback. And it says, Cyberpunk 2077 proves that the games industry is ready for a brand new Deus Ex game, despite the series being put on hiatus years ago. And you know, with Deus Ex, we never got like a true open world. We got like this hub space with both games. And I loved the world, even how it was laid out. You know, it was more of an intimate world, of course. But it is time, man, for Deus Ex to make a comeback. And what about the actual lead actor? You know, the dude that does the voice work for Adam Jensen. It says this, Deus Ex star ready to return for next game and or adult parody film. It says, a Deus Ex star Elias Tofexis is ready to reprise his role as Adam Jensen in the next Deus Ex project. So he's on standby. He is ready to go. This is January 1st, 2021. He is ready to go for the next Deus Ex game. And I think it is absolutely time for us to see this game franchise back in the spotlight, considering everything that has happened with, of course, Cyberpunk 2077. So, you know, I hope Square Enix, they are paying attention and they perhaps consider, hey, you know what? Cyberpunk, they missed out. Let's swoop in. Because Cyberpunk, they're going to have to be contending with an uphill battle with new game releases anyway. A lot of people experience Night City in a way that kind of, I think, has put a bad taste in their mouth. Don't get me wrong. I hope that they recover this game. I really would love to see a No Man's Sky come back. But again, they have an uphill battle in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are also noticing that something strange is going on with the weather system with Cyberpunk after update 1.23. This is the thread here. Northwood says this, the weather has returned. It says, is it just me or have the weather effects returned to their old frequency? One of the patches seemed to do something to rain, particularly in that I went from seeing it almost every day to never seeing raindrops or the trickle effect on the side of cars. Since 1.23 seems to have come back with a vengeance. That is a good thing. And there are some agreements here in the comments section that say that the weather is returning. It says, yes, I've noticed too, definitely works better. So this is a great step in the right direction. That's one thing that I really wanted to see from Cyberpunk was really good weather effects, considering, you know, a lot of the game is influenced by, of course, things like Blade Runner, which you guys know if you've seen the Blade Runner films, it's raining all the time. And some of the presentations that we did see before the game released really depicted a more rainy, dreary environment. Now, a lot of people are also wondering maybe what's going on with the PS4 performance and, of course, the base console performance. We have an article here from Forbes which touches base on this subject right here. It says, Cyberpunk better PS4 performance has cost most of its pedestrians and traffic. So, yes, while it's running better on PlayStation 4 and the base consoles, and I'm talking about like barely, it's also sacrificing a lot of the features that were presented, you know, through, again, these pre-release presentations showing very crowded streets. So, again, you know, if you are on the base console versions, my personal opinion is don't hold your breath if you think it's going to be looking like what you're seeing right here. Or if you're looking at PC footage, it's not, I don't think it's ever really going to look on par to what we're seeing on, you know, what I would call the next gen type platforms like the PlayStation 5, the Ultra versions of PC. It's just not, I just don't think it's going to happen. And my opinion, Sony, they also don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be available again on the PSN store here in, I think it's tomorrow. And they have a statement saying, you know, the PS4 version is not the recommended platform to play this on. PS4 Pro runs much better. But again, with this game, it should have been a next-gen release only. And even the Forbes article, you know, later down the line in this article, they actually mentioned that as well. That, hey, this should have been a next-gen release only, and I couldn't agree more. You're seeing that more and more, by the way, as we head into late 2021 and early 2022 and throughout 2022, we're going to be seeing next-gen only titles on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. So I think that's actually good news. As long as they are able to produce the consoles, we'll see. But anyway, let's go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So let's see what the most recent video was that I did about Cyberpunk. It says, fans are not happy after patch 1.23, but there's a new problem too, new updates. And the new problem is interesting because we're seeing a lot of people taking advantage of the fact that, yes, Cyberpunk has had its issues, and they're like posting these fake bug reports, fake glitches, over-exaggerating a lot of stuff that's kind of going viral, and it's definitely not helping the game whatsoever. It's ending up actually in news outlets and things like that. But overall, yes, the game is still buggy. So it doesn't even matter. Again, this is part of the uphill battle that I'm speaking of that Cyberpunk has. Now, let's see what you guys had to say about this. Zigzag Sugar says they're fixing the most minor, out-of-the-way stuff to make the patch notes bigger and hoping people see it as a good thing. At least that's what it seems like, in my opinion. Yeah, and it's just too little too late at this point with the updates. They've got to show something major with either a DLC or a significant update alongside a DLC. We got the new gen version coming up in 2021. I think, honestly, this is just my opinion. At least I hope perhaps this would be the case. They're hyper focused on the new gen version and cramming in new features, things that were cut from the game, and fall 2021 hopefully will be great for Cyberpunk 2077. So we'll see. But anyway, let's keep going and see what you guys had to say. JC Shadow Dragon X says, let's just face it, there's a lot for Cyberpunk to do. It's going to take them a while, probably 2 to 3 years. Yep. What I am waiting for is for them to put into it some of the missing content that they were selling the game with. Until then, to me, it just feels like a very unfinished game. I can handle dealing with a few bugs here and there. Playing through the game for me feels like a very bland experience. What I'm hoping is, with the upcoming DLC, they'll try to put into the game the most of the missing content, exactly, or something that'll make the game more interesting to play. When the next GTA comes out, that will more kill any remaining interest in Cyberpunk game. Yeah, that's what I was saying in this video. If you think of Cyberpunk in 2 to 3 years being re-released or updated significantly and it's in shape, they still, like you're saying, JC, have to contend with of GTA 6 or even something else that could be potentially releasing. You got to remember also, Ubisoft massive. They're working on like an open world Star Wars game right now. So yeah, there's a lot of competition. When you release a game at launch anymore, you got to nail it. You got to really show what you're made of. Now, Rit says the following. He says, at the very least, they should communicate clearly with the community. Tell us what's next, not that whole vague roadmap, but what's next down the pipeline. People's perception of the company, small fixes are not exciting or game-changing at all. Yeah, we need a more extensive roadmap. Right now, the roadmap, in my opinion, there is no roadmap. I'm just gonna say, yes, they provided us with this very generic look, that new free DLC is coming, and then some sort of major DLC releases are coming. But it's so generic, and there's no release dates. It's like, we need more specifics. I totally agree. Let's see what MD Style, I think it is, says. He says, their so-called patches are just an indicative of CD Projekt Red feeling like they're addressing the big problems, but really it's like patching holes in your wall while the foundation is crumbling. So yeah, again, that just means a lot of you think that the game's core issues aren't in the bugs and glitches anymore, that the actual systems of the game are the problem. Hobo Knife says CD Projekt Red's own version of Anthem, big oof. Don't even get me started on Anthem, dude. Feeling Good says there's no hope for this game. The damn bugs are not the problem. 160 upvotes. Hey, I see the Fallout. Vault Boy, awesome dude, love Fallout. I really wish Fallout 5 would come out soon, but that's not gonna happen. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more updates about Cyberpunk. I am gonna follow this game. see what happens with it. You know, by some miracle, it turns out to be a big No Man's Sky revival. If that happens, you know, I think that would be huge, even bigger than the No Man's Sky rival itself. Because I just feel like the interest in this game is partially still there. People are still very curious as to what is going on, and they're just watching and waiting, just like me. But we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk and open world gaming goodness, and I will see you all next time. Take care.